Hello, everyone, and welcome to my uh, Contacts app program that I have written over here. This is going over uh, different easy ways to add contacts, while also I included the recursion and Eight of Queens uh, classes to this. We'll begin with the recursion. In the recursion class, implemented three different recursion methods. We start uh, we start over though with the print array. We start with the print array, and what that does is I'm basically passing in the array and the index, as we see array index. And as we're doing this, right, we're making sure the base case is equal to the array length. This stops the recursion. Otherwise, it prints a current element and calls itself the next index. So the process in the array, one element at a time. Then we move on to string reverse. String reverse, I use it to reverse a string by starting from the last index, and then the base case is when the index is less than zero, as we said here. It prints each character right here. It prints each character, moves backward, and then which results in a reverse string, as we see string reverse. Move on. Moving on, we have recursive minimum. Using this, I find the smallest value in the array. The base case is when there's only one element right here. That's why we make n equal to 1. And then I compare the last element, which the result of the recursive call using math min here, reducing the problem each time. Moving on, we have Eight of Queens. Now, in the Eight of Queens, I used recursion with backtracking. I represent the board here, board, also here, talking about the board. I use an array where the index of the column and the value is the row of the queen. And then after that, we move on and we use the solve method here. I try to use the solve method by placing the queens in each row of the column, of the current column, and then when the base case is when all of the columns are filled, which means the solution is found and the board is printed. Before placing the queen, though, I have to call an isSafe method, which checks if another queen is in the same row or a diagonal. The diagonal check using the diagonal check uses the absolute difference formula. If the position is safe, I place the queen and recursively move to the next column. If it doesn't work, the algorithm backtracks and tries a different route. This continues until a valid solution is found. Finally, we move on to the Contacts app. Now, in my Java FX Contact app, I built a simple GUI to manage the contacts. This is my fxml file as we go down it. And I loaded my fxml file in my main app using file XML loader, as we see here, to create a scene and display it on Sage here and here. Then right there, we go to the contact class. And what this class does is it stores contact information, first name, last name, email, phone. And after that, once I've stored all the information correctly, I override it. Uh, I override it with the toString, so the list view displays the last name. If we move over to our controller, I use an observable list to store contacts. This is very important to it because it automatically updates the list view when data changes. And after that, we need to initialize it. In the initialize method, I connect the list view to the observational list and add listener when a user selects a contact. The text fields are automatically filled so the contact with the contact's data. When we go towards the end of our controller, we hit the handle add. These are the buttons that are inside of our GUI. The handle add creates a new contact using the text fields and adds it to the list. The delete removes the selected contact from the field, and the update method updates the selected contact's information. When we run all of this together, we get our GUI. We can add names into it, we can add it, update it, delete it, yeah, all of that to it as well. A challenge that I had when doing this was setting up the Java FX in IntelliJ. That seems to be one of my biggest problems, especially configuring the SDK and the VM options correctly. Another challenge was understanding how the observational list updates the UI automatically. At first, my list view wasn't really refreshing properly. It wasn't coming up. And when I tried running it, it even gave me a little problems just to see where I was at. Eventually, I fixed it by using the observable list and calling refresh when needed. The Eight of Queens was a problem too because of the backtracking logic, but I eventually solved it by carefully checking row and diagonal conflicts. In conclusion to all this, overall, the project helped me understand recursion, backtracking, and GUI development using Java FX. This is my this is my end product when I printed it, all of my codes. This is the GUI when I built it. You could even see my grid pan, my buttons, delete, add, even the list view as well. Thank you and have a good day.